If I lost everything today and I had to rebuild a seven-figure CEO brand from scratch in 2025, here is exactly what I will do. No shortcuts, no viral hacks. Just the 6-step system that worked with CEOs that I have helped them to go from invisible to industry authority. One CEO went from nobody, knowing no one knows anything about him, to getting featured in major publications and close 7-figure deal in only 90 days using our frame link on LinkedIn. And here is what most CEOs got completely wrong about building their personal brand. They think it's all about number of followers or the impressions. It's totally wrong. In this video, I'm going to show you why chasing followers on LinkedIn as a CEO is the fastest way to stay broke, and what actually you need to build authority on LinkedIn and start monetizing your brand. My name is Ahmed Khaled and I am the founder and CEO of Unleash Agency. We are the #1 personal branding agency in the Middle East, working with CEOs to build their personal brand on LinkedIn. Here is what are you going to learn in this video. First, why everything you think you know about LinkedIn personal branding is probably wrong. Most CEOs are focused on the wrong metrics entirely. Second, the 6-step system that actually builds authority, not just the visibility, but the kind of positioning that makes investors, partners, and clients seek you out first. And third, exactly how I would implement this if I was starting from zero today. But here is the thing that most CEOs messed up this. You cannot skip these steps at all. Each step that I'm going to share with you builds on the last, and skipping any of those steps will fall the whole system apart and you will not be able to build an authority on your field. So if you are a CEO and ready to unleash your personal brand and authority on LinkedIn, then let's get started. So the biggest problem that I see it from CEOs, why their current positioning or their current approach on LinkedIn is not working. Why they cannot build like authority on LinkedIn. And this is exactly what's happening with most 7 and 8 and 9 figures CEOs who are always invisible on LinkedIn despite all of their great experience and their business success. And when you think about it, all of their competitors, they have maybe half the experience and the values that they are holding, but they got all the attentions and all the opportunities that they have, they get it out from them. And unfortunately, if you are a great CEO and you're walking into rooms, there is nobody know you, and nobody knows who are you and what you're doing. Just with your experience and with your values, nobody knows anything. And this is one of the biggest problems that most CEOs, when they start posting or they try to build their authority on LinkedIn, they fall on. And let me tell you what is the invisibility actually cost you when it comes to building your personal brand and your CEO authority system. So unfortunately, when you don't have this powerful visibility, it costs you losing many partnerships, losing just business opportunities. However, you see less qualified competitors are visible and they get these opportunities and they get these deals, 7 and 8 and 9 figures deals out of you because they're visible. And unfortunately, when you go into that and you want to get that deal, you're always competing on the price and not just the perceived authority. And this is what most CEOs, they are always playing in that way. In order to get a deal, let's get over our price or just reduce our price so we can get this deal. And unfortunately as well, when you play that price, I would say it's a red ocean game, and you don't need to play that game as a CEO if you want to build authority. And every time when you go to an event or networking event, you are always trying to push yourself, you're always trying to introduce yourself. And this is where the perceived authority doesn't come along the way. So always starting from zero credibility and trying to sell yourself to people instead of they should buy you from the beginning. And what is the wrong solution that most CEOs try when it comes to building their personal brand? What I see always that most CEOs, they say that personal branding is not working for me. But why? Because they're always trying to move into hiring freelancers or maybe agencies that they're not trained, that they don't have the experience, and they try to promise them about posting content and they will make them viral and they will build their authority, but doesn't work at all because they don't have the experience how to deal with real CEOs and how to build their reputation and their authority. And also, when it comes to the CEOs, someone like you, I know when an agency come and they don't have that experience, they try to measure their success by virality or chasing the numbers of followers or how many followers we'll get into that. But I want you to think about it. It's not about the number of followers at all. It's all about the connections. What would be the aim if you have like tons of followers, but you don't have any connections? You cannot capitalize or leverage on that connections or that followers that you have. You don't need all of this. So biggest mistake that you lack strategy. And this is what most agencies do. They don't have strategy. They just chase metrics or virality, and which is not that positioning that you want. And I keep saying it's like building a house starting with the roof instead of just building the fundamentals or the pillars, which by default it will collapse by time because you lack the strategy. So another question that you need to ask yourself in terms of personal branding, what most CEOs do versus what actually works. Okay, you see most CEOs, what they do, they post random content hoping for followers, obsession, number of followers. If this post get that number of followers, which is great, this is what is the success for us, is making sense, which is not the right way. Or maybe just working with generic agencies that they work with them and just promise them false promises about the number of followers, but at the end of the day you find yourself you are paying too much money and there is zero ROI. Even if they get you like number of followers, but there is no connections, there is no opportunities for your business, there is no opportunities to have more exposure. What really actually works, this is exactly what we're doing at Unleash. It's all about the strategic positioning. Before content, you have to understand how to position yourself. You should have a strategy, focusing on the quality connections and not just the followers. Big difference between a connection and follower. Connection, this is someone you're investing really time and building rapport and try to open doors. But followers, someone who saw your content on LinkedIn and then they start to follow you maybe one time or two times and then it doesn't appear. There is no law of reciprocity in terms of values. That's why most CEOs, they try to chase content and the followers, and they are always annihilated by the numbers, but not just the output, which big difference when you have a strategy and understand what are the deliverables and success for you, how it looks like. But question for you, I need to ask you, as a CEO, would you rather have like 50,000 followers who scroll past you just like this on the feeds, or having 500 qualified people who see you as an authority? I want you to reflect on that question. Definitely, if I am in your place, I will think about 500 qualified people. Because what would be the aim if I have 50,000 followers and at the end of the day I cannot capitalize or leverage over this? And this is the question that you need to answer yourself. It's not about the number of followers, it's about the quality of connections that you need to have it in your way. And this is exactly what we are doing at Unleash. I'll tell you, there was a CEO, I cannot reveal the name itself because we had an NDA, but I'll tell you what happened. Before he worked with us at Unleash, he just used to post with another agency 5 times per week for 6 months. When you see the metrics, it's he gained like 2,000 followers, and he almost got 0 clients. There is no authority, there is no inbound messages or opportunities came into the way. But when he started to work with us and he came to us with that foundation, with that problem, we started to build our Unleash framework. We started to build a foundation for that framework. And within 90 days, and I'm going to share with you the 6 steps, how we built it, and you can instantaneously use these steps and build your authority. Within 90 days, he started to get many inbound messages. And alongside from these inbound messages, a message that came from a JV, he went and he started to build the rapport, and he closed a 7-figure deal through LinkedIn. And I'm going to share with you how it works right now. And look, if this is something that really clicking for you, and if you're realizing that your entire total approach was totally backwards, then just know that what I'm about to show you and tell you is exactly what we implement with all of our clients every single day. In fact, there is something specific we do in the first 30 days that completely transform how CEOs are perceived, but I will tell you about it after we go through that framework. For now, if you're thinking that I need help with that, then there is a link on the description below. You can book your strategy call and we will audit your positioning on LinkedIn and we'll see what is broken and we'll advise you how to fix it in the right way. All right, let's get started with our framework. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to share with you right now the Unleash framework that we are using in our agency. We are using the 6 steps in our agency to build the authority and immortal executive brand for CEOs. So what are those 6 steps? In a very nutshell way. So the first step we are doing, it's ICP identification. ICP here, it means that ideal client profile. First step that we start with, and I'm going to dwell down and drill it down even into details step by step, and I'll tell you how to implement that with your way. So the second thing that we do is brand positioning and authority. Then the third step, which is profile optimization. Then fourth step, communication strategy. Fifth step, it's network building. And then the last step, which is sixth step, PR amplification. So why this framework works? So as I told you, most CEOs treat LinkedIn as a posting content platform. And most CEOs, they got promised by another agencies that they will post for them content, which I believe this is step number 4 in your way along the framework that we're using. It's not about posting, it's all about positioning, and I'm going to share with you how we started doing this. And without step 1 and 3, which is, as I said, ICP identification, brand positioning, and profile optimization, then you just get an activity if you start posting content aimlessly without any objective and there is no result, you will get it after that. So it's not about posting, it's not about content only. There is always a strategy behind it. And this system is always building the foundation first, and then we start to amplify. And I'm going to share with you these 6 steps, step by step with you, okay? So again, you ask yourself, what makes this framework different? As I told you, it's not about the vanity metrics that most agencies they get. It's about the number of followers, the number of impressions, the likes. No, it's about the credibility. How to build real connections and build perception, authority, and build that experience with cold audiences. They come and see you from the first time that you are authority in that domain. And there is no hack that you're using it. There is no viral chases. It's all about real authority. And I'm going to tell you this step by step, and you can build it with yourself. So as I told you also, we're only working with CEOs, so we know how to protect the reputation while building that influence. So I'm going to tell you step by step how to do that as well, okay? Then let's start firstly by the ICP identification. ICP, as I said, it's ideal client profile or persona. Why we always at Unleash start with the ICP identification? Why it matters? As I told you, most agencies, they start what message you as a CEO want to say, but we don't start like this at all. We start who are the people that you want to target them? Who are the people that you want your message to go to them? And this is how and why this matters, because you cannot build authority without clarity on who it is for. Because when you actually target everyone, you target no one. I see most agencies, what they do, they start and speak just generic way about content. There is no strategy about content that doesn't resonate with the brand positioning for the CEOs, which acts like noise. There is no authority, there is no positioning, there is no power. And when you go and look at their profile, the CEO profile, you start to laugh. You start to laugh because it doesn't show any power. That's why it's not about only about the content. The first point that you need to understand is who are your target audiences. This is the first starting point. And then you'll ask me, okay, how can I do this? There are 3 clarity pillars you have to identify before doing anything, as I told you, as ICP identification. You need to answer those questions, okay? Which is, who are those ICP? Who are those people? Their industry, their revenue, their stage, what make them stay worry for the full night? You have to understand this, because if you don't have understanding for that avatar, then your message will be like acting as a noise. So you start firstly by the who, and then the second one, what do they want? Specifically the transformation, maybe scale, acquisition, partnerships. What are their limiting beliefs? What are their challenges? What are their problems? What are their barriers? All of this stuff. What do they want? And based on that, you have to position yourself as the subject matter expert. But you have to understand those people. And this is exactly what we're doing. We help you identifying those ICP and understanding their problems. And then the third one, which is, why haven't they achieved it? And answering that question, it's very powerful, because you need to position yourself as the solution for that people, for their blocks. And this actually, it shapes your content, because this is the authority where you can use it and build your credibility in that way. And the last one, which is, where are they? How do they look like? Maybe they are in UK, maybe they are in UAE, maybe they are in Saudi Arabia, maybe how they look like, where are they located? So we start with the demographics. So answering those, I would say, pillars will help you identify your ICP. Then after identifying the ICP, which is the starting point, we go to the second step, which is brand positioning and authority. What does it mean by brand positioning and authority? And why positioning matters in that way? So let me start with you. So authority, it's not about what you do. It's how people perceive you, think about you. There's a big difference in that way. And I kept always thinking, why there are 2 CEOs, they provide the same service, and one charge for that service $5,000 retainer per month, and other one charges like $50,000 per month. In a very simple way, the difference is the positioning. How you position your brand, how you build that credibility and the authority in that way. It's not about the values. I guarantee you that both, they have the same values, but one charge 10 times the other, and the other one accept the 5K retainer because of that positioning. And what does it mean by authority? I believe that authority has like triangle, which is 3 elements: the expertise, the credibility, and the visibility. Expertise here, you should understand, what do you know? It's about your experience. Credibility here, who you have helped, testimonials, before case studies, how did you do that? Visibility, it's about who knows you. If you combine all of those 3, expertise, credibility, and visibility, and put it under one umbrella, this will form the authority triangle. So think about the positioning from that perspective. So as I said, most CEOs have one of those 3 angles, maybe 1 or 2. But winners and influential CEOs, they have the 3 ones. 3, or the triangle of the authority in the right way. That's why, as I said, your competitor might have less experience than you, but he or she, they position themselves in the right authority, which means that they're winning everything. And this is the power of brand positioning. So you identify your ICP, and then what you do, you start building your brand positioning and authority in that way. And question, what strong positioning answers? You will ask, what makes you different? Like 3 questions. You have to think about them before doing anything, just moving. What makes you different? What's your unique methodology for your business? It could be something that you are using it in a different way. What makes you unique? And the second question that you need to answer it for a better positioning, who do you serve? As I told you, which is we answered it in the ICP, because when you are more clear about your ICP, you are talking directly to them. And what kind of transformation do you provide? What are the outcomes? What are the deliverables? What are the things that you can add value for them, and you position yourself as an authority in that way, so that they come to you in that directly. So in order to have like strong positioning, you have to answer those three questions before doing anything. And after clear positioning, actually, we have like step number 3 and step number 4. But after answering this will be an input for the profile optimization, which is the third step, and fourth step, which is communication strategy. So after having clear positioning and identifying our ICP, then we start with the third step, which is profile optimization on LinkedIn. And why profile optimization matters? What I see, most agencies, they have like a random profile optimization when they go and just work with CEOs. They don't have a clear strategy about that. Actually, as I told you, step number 1, ICP identification, and the building your authority and brand positioning, it's an input to your profile optimization. Because once you understand your ICP and your positioning, then you can start reflect back or reverse engineer your experience and your story to position yourself from that perspective, that you're the only go-to authority or the only go-to solution for your ICP. Then what you can do, you start building your messaging in the right way. You start building your visuals. You start building your brand guidelines. You start building your stuff in the right way. But again, why your profile matters? LinkedIn profile, just think about it, it's like your digital storefront. If you build it on the wrong way, then nothing will happen. If someone just hear about you, think about it, just your name, first thing that they will do, they will look at your profile on LinkedIn. And if they don't understand what are you doing in 3 seconds, then it's lost opportunity. When they go and look at your profile, see what you're doing, if you confuse them, you lose them in a very simple way. So there is always like a funnel, and people think about it when they come and look at your profile. If you don't just make everything easy for them, and your brand identity is very clear, then it's lost opportunity, as I said to you. Most great CEOs have terrible profiles. I see it every day. They have generic banner, they have generic headline that says that I'm the CEO of that company, blah, blah, blah. And they don't have about section, very powerful about section that generate like inbound opportunities using the right keywords and authoritative right keywords. What they do, they just act like resume or CV. And my advice, if you look like everyone as a CEO, then you are everyone else. So how do you stand out? This is through your profile optimization, taking into consideration your ICP and your authority, coming back and start reflecting all of this. What a high authority profile looks like, there are mainly many elements. I'm going to go over them with you right now. Element number 1 is the banner. Most CEOs, what I do and what I see, they have like, their banner is very generic. They think that it's like decoration. Not at all. Sometimes I saw some CEOs, they go and they put in their banners some quotes for Simon Sinek or Tony Robbins in inspiration, but this is not right at all. It's all about your positioning. It should communicate your positioning and transformation, talking to your ICP, reflecting who are you and how can you provide them with the values. This is how you build authority and credibility. Bad generic, as I said, stock photo. Good one is clear statement of who you help and how. I keep saying that it's easy to make it hard on people to understand what you're doing, and it's hard to make it easy on people to understand what you're doing. So simplicity is always winning. What I need from you is to make everything very simple, talking to your ICP and your positioning. Then what's the second thing? It's element number 2, headline. Your headline should always, in your LinkedIn, here's the headline, and just come back to you. Here is the headline, here is the banner. And here is the headline, which is, I believe it's one of the biggest places where you build your brand identity. It should show authority and credibility. What are you doing? When someone lands on your profile, they understand what are you doing. Maybe they have interest and they can come to you like inbound message. Second thing that I always advise everyone, optimize and prioritize. Because look, you will always seeing on LinkedIn, when you go on feeds or search engines, you will see that the only 49 characters when you start creating content, it will be obvious here. And then you will not see the rest of the headline. Why? Because LinkedIn wants you to prioritize and optimize for these 49 characters. So you should prioritize and optimize, build all of your authority and credibility in that headline. What are you doing and how can you help people in that way? So you have to optimize and prioritize it, because this will be the only 49 characters for the searchability and even for your content when it comes into the feed. This should be positioning statement, who you serve, what problem you solve, and unique approach. There are many approaches and many tactics to do such things, but I'm always asking you to use the 49 characters to build that authority in the right way. Okay? Then the third one, which is element number 3, it's about section. I believe that it's one of the most important sections on LinkedIn that will help you just having an inbound opportunities if you use it with the right keywords and with the right SEO. Most CEOs, they build their about section like resume, like CV, which is put them totally down. It depositions their authority. And nobody cares about your job history at all. But your about section should hook people with your story, hook people with the problems that they care about, because they don't care about you, they care about their problems, they care about their challenges. So you need to make use of that about section for two things: show them that you understand their situation, position yourself as a solution, include social proof, ending with a clear CTA or call to action. And if you succeed to do that in the right way, then you start seeing like great results. And if you use the right keywords, it will help you having more inbound and visibility from that perspective. As I said, SEO, you should use the right search engine optimization keywords related to your industry for inbound visibility. So make sure that you're using the right keywords in your industry to enhance your visibility. Last one, which is element number 4, featured section. It should showcase your case studies about your work. Even anonymous, I know sometimes like what we do, we are working with 7 and 8 and 9 figures CEOs, which we have NDA, but you should put something that shows your authority and testimonials around that. If you have press releases, client wins, your framework, don't leave it empty. Most CEOs, what they do, they just leave their featured section empty without showing how they help, and it's another way of authority building in your profile section. So how to audit your profile? I want you to do one thing. Pull up profile now and ask yourself, pull up your profile right now. Ask your question that and be clear. Is it clear what I do and what I help? Do I stand out from the competitors? Just think about this. Is there visible proof I'm good at this especially? Is there a clear next step? Ask yourself in that question. If the answer is no, then your profile is costing you a lot of opportunities. So this is, as I said, it's all about profile optimization. But after, as I said, the clear positioning, we finished the profile optimization, which an input, we had the input of ICP and brand positioning. Then what we do after that, we start building the communication strategy on LinkedIn, which is content, external communication strategy. Question: why content fails with CEOs? And I believe that you will start to understand with me right now. Because most CEOs, when they start to work with agencies, they start from the content itself. CEOs start with content with no foundation. As we spoke, they don't have like a clear ICP and they don't have a clear positioning. And if you don't have a clear positioning in ICP, then I'm telling you, you will act like a noise. It's just burning time, burning effort, burning money with agencies if you don't have an ICP and positioning clear. It's acting like, running ads to a broken landing page. So if your landing page is not really compelling and optimized well, then your content, even if it drives traffic, people will never resonate with you. So you have to fix this from the beginning, which is, as I said, your ICP, your positioning, and your profile optimization. Then you can start building the content, because when you start building content, you start driving traffic and inbound people. People will start looking at your profile views. They will come to you and look about what you're doing, and they start asking about what you're doing and build that connection. So, as I said, content without foundation, it's useless. And big difference between visibility and strategic visibility. It's not about having tons of visibility or reach or impressions, but strategic visibility, it's about reaching the right people. It's not about just people. It's not about how many people that I reach them. It's about how many people I reach them from the right audiences. What would be the aim if I want to have ICP like investors and I appear to, let's say, directors of a corporate? Doesn't make sense, right? Yeah, it's not about the count of impressions. It's about the quality of impressions and the strategic visibility. And when I speak about the content, your content should have acting like a funnel. Top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. Each type of content should push people from top of the funnel to your bottom of the funnel. And when I speak here about top of the funnel, which the main objective of it's awareness. This content is targeting people that they are problem unaware about your brand and solution unaware. And it has some tactics. You have to work on it in order to push people, just to give them an awareness about what are you doing and how to position it. And then MOFU, which is middle of the funnel, this is build the engagement. And in a very simple way here, those are the people that they are problem aware about the challenge or the service that you're giving, but they are solution unaware. They don't know what are you doing. And this also has some tactics. And bottom of the funnel, which is BOFU, it's all about conversion. Here it comes that tactic of content where it comes the conversion itself, which is those are the people that they're problem aware and solution aware about you, where you can push them, you can meet them, you can close them, you can convert them, all of this stuff. So your content should be working in that 3 phases. You're trying to push people from top of the funnel into bottom of the funnel every time you do it. So how to implement your content strategy? I'll tell you in a very simple way, how can you implement it? Step number 1, I want you to build your content calendar. After understanding your ICP, positioning, and all of this stuff, I want you at least to post 2 times per week consistently. And LinkedIn will reward you on that. But the question that you need to ask yourself, what are the things that I will post about? Which is step number 2. It's all about the thought leadership pillars. You have to have content pillars in every week or every month and have it in a bucket way. So week 1, let's say I build authority, teach framework, let's say about your business. Week 2, proof. I'm sharing some proof of concept or just case study, share client win. Week 3, perspective, unique point of view. Week 4, personal or your story, to build that connection with your audiences. So step number 3, as I said, each post has a purpose. Don't post just for posting. Each should attract ICP, position, methodology, move someone closer to understanding your values. As I said to you, it's like a funnel. And step number 4, optimize always for the algorithm and for connection. Not about hashtags or posting time. It's about people stop scrolling. Start optimizing, understand based on the content pillars what works well and what doesn't work well. What works well, how can I build more from it? How can I reach the right people? Again, it's not about the impressions, the right people, the quality of impressions, the right people. It's not about having tons of people, but you have to understand the segregation of them. If I'm targeting investors and all of my content is appearing to corporate people, then it will never resonate, right? So you have to think about it from that perspective. Then step number 5, which is network building. This is one of the most important things, and this is where really our agency is being differentiated. It's all about network building and outreach methodologies. And let me tell you that, imagine with me that you are, let's say, being invited for a keynote speech, and you prepared for it for 1 week very well. And you came on the stage on that day in front of thousands of people in that way, and you're dressed very well. You start to open the mic and speak very in a nice way, start to inspire people. And after like 2 minutes, you realize that most people, they start to open their mobiles and they got distracted. And you start to wonder what happened? Why this is happening to me? And when you dig deep, you start to understand that you have a great speech, but unfortunately, all those thousands of people, they are irrelevant. They're not your target audience. It's the same like that. What if you're building your ICP, identification ICP, building authority, building content, but what if all of this, and even your profile optimization, but what all of this is not going to the right people? Then all of this, it's a waste of time and money and the energy and everything. And this is exactly what happens. I'm going to share with you the secrets behind this. Why this step matters? At Unleash, we don't wait for the algorithm. Because maybe today you post today and you need to target, let's say UAE, you come to India. Tomorrow you post at 3 p.m., you go to Egypt. After tomorrow you post on, let's say 4 p.m., you go to Thailand. But your target audience is in UAE. How can we control all of this? This is what we do always on Unleash, and you can replicate this. We don't wait for algorithm to push content. We push content very strategically, and I'm going to tell you the secrets, directly to those people who matters. You can post daily, but if the right audiences never sees it, it's a waste of effort. Let me tell you the Unleash philosophy, how we engineer visibility. This is the secret that we're doing it. I'll tell you step by step. What we do mainly, we start to identify your ICP, which is at the beginning. Use step number 1 as an ICP clarity to build a weekly list of 20 or 30 ideal profiles in your head. And then you start to include them. Let's say your ICP is investors, your ICP decision makers who fit your niche. You understand them. Then what we do, we start doing something. We start doing engaging. One of our team as a setter, they come onto your profile and they just go and do many things. They start comment thoughtfully on those ICP quality people on their posts before sending any request. It's like you are building rapport with them at the beginning. Show genuine interest, be sane, not salesy at all. Create like a micro recognition before just the connection happens. And then what we do, we start going for the connection. Sending, after just building that rapport, just the red carpet, we send a personalized connection request, referencing, let's say, something like a reason, a post, a quote, a shared belief, or something like that. Sorry for that. Then we go for the 4th step, which is convert. We start getting those people who are second and third connections out of your degree, first connection in your network, and we start connect with them. After just in that, we start convert. Once we connected, they see your content automatically. Something about LinkedIn algorithm, when you start building or just connecting with people, most probably like 99%, and you start outreach them, sending some messages, your content will appear into their feeds and they start to see you. That's why your best content lands directly in front of the right people once you start outreach them. And then what we do, we start nurture them. We don't pitch them, but we start to build the relationship equity with them. We start to engage with them in their posts. We are building rapport. We show them that we care. And over time, they perceive you as the go-to authority in your field. And what we do after that, we start to build like a great rapport and take this conversation offline into online and build great opportunities and open doors for our great partners and clients. The advantage, as I said, you are no longer hoping your content get discovered. You engineer discovery. You're not waiting for the algorithm, but you are creating the connections to be in front of the right people. Every connections added like expands your reach strategically because you start to come in front of the right people, not just randomly. And within 60 days, your feed becomes curated an ecosystem in front of high quality connection people who can actually convert. It's not about random people. We build the real authority from that perspective. Then after building the right network, the last stage, which is last step, PR amplification, public relations. And why PR matters in that way? It's great to have like a self-promotion, but you have to step into a third voice who stamp over your brand story and brand strategy. So why PR matters, as I said, being featured in major publications create like quick credibility and authority. Forbes, imagine yourself, you're featured in Forbes, Bloomberg, Entrepreneur, industry outlets, and podcasts. But it only works if you have done step number 1 till step number 5 rightly. It's not about the vanity metrics. It's all about all of this is working all together. And why most CEOs get PR wrong? Why they're investing too much money and it's not working? Most of CEOs, they hire PR firms directly. They pay them like $50,000, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars to get them in one article and nothing changes because there is no strategy. There is no integration between your branding strategy and your PR strategy. So the foundation is broken. The 5 steps that we spoke about, it's broken. You don't know what are you chasing. You just feature yourself. I got featured here in Bloomberg or Forbes. So what? If you don't connect this all together or integrated, then it's waste of money, energy, and money. Articles just come out. People start to click on LinkedIn, see weak profile if you don't optimize it. And if there is no connection and integration, then there is no positioning and people will move on and it's lost opportunity. Or PR firms that they pitch for things that they don't align with your positioning attract wrong audience because of the wrong placement that they place it for you. So, as I said, PR works when you have clear ICP, identifying your ICP, strong positioning, step number 2, optimizing your profile, step number 3, consistent content that build authority with your ICP, and then step number 5, strategic network, building the right people in your network. Then you can use the PR to amplify all of this stuff. You cannot start only by PR. If you don't have a clarity and branding strategy, then all of this, it's a lost opportunities. What PR amplification includes? Many channels. Could be press releases, as I said, many things. Publication features, Forbes, Bloomberg, industry publications, podcast appearance, and this is what we do. You, based on the target audiences, which are the podcasts that really will amplify your perception, using the right ICP lessons, not just any podcast, but the right placements for that podcast. Speaking opportunities, conference panels, and webinars that will leverage you in front of the right people. So this is how it all works together, and this is how exactly what we're doing at Unleash in that way. You'll ask why Unleash framework works. In a very simple way, I'll tell you why. This is an ecosystem approach. As I told you, each step builds on previous one. You cannot skip to step number 4, content, without step number 1, ICP. Or content will be always generic. You cannot do step number 6, which is more into PR, without step number 3, profile, to drive traffic, right? Profile optimization. People click through and bounce. Nothing will happen. You will not convert. Everything all works together. And what happens when you start implementing that framework is exactly what we do with our clients and partners. First 30 days, you start building foundation, ICP, positioning, and profile. Days 30 to 60, activate your content strategy and network building, which will be continuously. Day 60 and 90, you start to amplify PR, speaking, and publications. And after 90 days, perception will start shift in your network, inbound messages will happen, partnership opportunities and media outreach will happen for you. What makes this different? Most agencies, as I told you from the beginning, they just post content and hope. But we, as an Unleash, we are partner with you. We build a complete system. We just not work about the PR alone, not just content alone, not at all. We are integrating all of this into one objective based on what you want to have in your as a result. We protect your reputation because we are only working with CEOs. We don't work with anybody. We know how to work with CEOs. This is what we do. So we protect your reputation. No spammy tactics, no automation, no buying followers. We are not into that at all. As I told you, it's all about building the authority. It's all about strategic, high integrity authority building. This is what we do. We're not chasing followers. We are building connections and authority for you. That's why I'm sure that you have built already a successful business, already have like great authority. Just need the right system to express it in the right way. This is what you need exactly. All right. So that's the complete framework that we use it at Unleash. ICP identification, brand positioning and authority, then we build the profile optimization, and then we have the communication strategy, and then we build your network and outreach, and last one, which is PR amplification. If you implement this on LinkedIn, you will build an authority on LinkedIn. And you will not build like a fake influencer status. You don't need this at all as a CEO. And this authority on LinkedIn will translate by default into partnerships, investments, and monetization for your brand if you do it rightly using this 6 steps framework. Now here is what I want you to do next. If you're watching this video and thinking, I don't have time to implement all of this myself, or I tried personal branding before and it didn't work, or I need someone who actually understands CEO reputation management, then I invite you to book a strategy call directly with me. On that call, we are going to audit your current LinkedIn presence and show you exactly what's broken, identify what actually holding you back, map out how the Unleash framework would work specifically for your business, and if it's a fit, I will tell you how we can implement this entire system for you. Here's the thing. I work with a limited number of CEOs on a monthly basis because this is a very high-touch work base. We're building your reputation, we're building your authority. So it takes time and it takes effort and it takes energy. So I don't take this very lightly at all. The link to book the call is in the description below. Click on it, find the time, and let's have a conversation. And whether we are working together or not, here is the thing that I want you to do right now. Pull up a paper, start with the first step, identifying your ICP, who are they, what they look for, and how can you serve them, and start from that point.